Welcome back to my channel. My name is Charmaine, and if this look looks familiar, I just put up a video of this makeup look, so make sure that you go and watch it. This video, however, is my eyeshadow palette collection. So I had already filmed my eyeshadow palette collection, but I did not have an intro and outro, so since I had my makeup done, I decided to go ahead and get this filmed. Now, for my makeup collection, it's not my makeup collection, it's just my eyeshadow palettes only. So I have single eyeshadows and I have palettes. I do not do my single shadows. This is strictly eyeshadow palettes. I have about 350 eyeshadow palettes that you will see. I tried to keep the video short, so you guys didn't have to sit too long watching. I think I got it down to less than an hour, but I did notice after I'd already filmed the video, actually I noticed today, after I was done editing the video and I was doing this look, that I had two palettes that actually did not make it into my collection because I didn't have them put away like they're supposed to be. And I'm going to just show them to you here before we get into the video. So the first palette that did not make it into the video is this Colourpop palette. And this is the Rumor Has It. And this is the Bff palette. And I think this is the, yeah, it's Jalapeno. So it's the Bff Jalapeno palette. You will notice that my collection is by brand, and that's how I have them sorted and put away in my drawers. So when I'm showing them to you, they're in order by brands. I do have a few drawers that are just kind of random, but I do call that out to you in the video. So before we get into it, make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave comments down below. All right, so we'll go ahead and get into the video. All right, we're gonna get straight into it. So the first palette that I have is this Ellen Tracy palette that I found at Ross, I believe. It was either Ross or like a Burlington. This is their marbled and matte palette. And I like it just because of the color scheme. They do have some marbled colors. I haven't had a chance to play with it too much, but I have used it at least once. All right, so I do have these two Sweet and Shimmer palettes. Neutral colors. I don't use neutral colors too often, but I really like them because of the shimmers. So I have this Wet n Wild palette. I bought this again because of the shimmers. A lot of the times I buy palettes because of the shimmers in them. Okay, then we have my two Maybelline palettes. I don't have too many Maybellines. I just have these two. So we have the Lemonade Craze palette here that I'm holding. I also bought this because the shimmer mainly because of this one right here. This one didn't perform as well as I liked, but I still keep it because I do use it every so often, just not a lot because I do have a lot of palettes. Okay, then we have the City Kits Urban Light palette, which I really like. I actually got this earlier this year. We have the Salt and Pepper palette, so this is very necessary. Looks like this. I really liked it. These are like jewel tones, which I really love. So like this green and yellow. Of course, I'm a sucker for shimmers and glitter, so that's why this caught my eye. I actually found these at either Ross or Burlington. I want to say I got them at Burlington though. And then this is the Hot, Cool, and Vicious palette. Okay, it looks like this on the inside. And then lastly, I got this one, this Milani palette, because of these beautiful greens in here and the shimmers. We have my two NYX palettes. I had to adjust my lighting, so you'll notice a difference in the lighting. So this is a NYX Off Tropic Palette. I found this one at TJ Maxx as well. I think it was like $4. I did get a couple, so I eventually want to do a giveaway once I hit a certain amount of subscribers. And then this is my other NYX palette. This is the Diamonds and Ice palette. Look how beautiful this green is, and this color here. You know, that's the whole reason why I bought this palette. All right, we're gonna get into the Bff palette. So this is the Bff and J Kissa palette to the rescue. I tried this palette once, and honestly the look came out as a fail, so I haven't touched it since, but it does have some really good colors if I'm ever looking for any of these colors in another look that I do. So I'm keeping it. Then I have these Bff bite-sized palettes here. Okay, these are the e.l.f. Mint Melt collection. These are also like little bite-sized palettes. And I have done a video using these two that's already up on my channel probably a few months back. We're gonna get to Essence. Essence is one of my favorite affordable brands that you can find at Ulta. I believe like these palettes are about $10. So this is the Essence Ciao Venezia palette. Looks like this. Very beautiful. I do love these. I love the brand also. This is the Hey LA palette. I know that there's probably about 5 of these. I don't have them all. I just got the ones. I get the palettes that I really like. I just don't buy palettes just to buy them. I get the ones if the colors catch my eyes. This is the Good Day Sydney. And I feel like I've used this palette, or if I haven't used it, I wore an eye look with this palette in a video. And this is the Essence Never Give Up Your Daydream palette. See, I got this at TJ Maxx. It was $5.99. Looks like this. I haven't had a chance to use this one, but I still need to use it. This is the Essence Yes I Can Natural Look palette. This is going to be the LA Girl palettes. So first up we have this LA Girl Keep It Playful. And I am pretty sure I used this last year around Christmas time for a look. This is another Keep It Playful palette. I don't know if they have like separate names. I don't see it, but very nice. I do have a few neutral palettes. I try not to have too many because, again, I like to do colorful looks. So this is a Hey Hey Vacay palette. This is the LA Girl VIP Desert Dream. So pretty. It's been a while since I've actually sat and opened all my palettes, but this is fun for me. LA Girl Main Stage Desert Dream palette. LA Girl Pro Mastery Eyeshadow palette. So LA Girl is another affordable brand. You can find it at Ulta or even like the drugstore, CVS, but it's better to get at Ulta because you can get points. The LA Girl Pro Artistry palette. They're not going to be in any particular order, but we have the Yes Please palette by Colourpop. Looks like this. I really love Colourpop. They're another affordable brand. I used to buy them before they were in Ulta, so I was so happy when they came into Ulta. This is a Sweet Talk palette. The Whatever palette. It's one of my favorite ones to use for fall. This is the X's and O's. Colourpop's shimmers and glitters are like really, really good. This is the Lush Life palette. This is one of the palettes I really, really wanted. This is the Good Sport palette. I really love this one too. My Colourpop palettes I've used a lot more. This is the Cabana Club palette. I really like this one, especially because of this blue here. Okay, so we have the Wild Child palette. Looks like this. I really want to do a nice brown neutral look with this, or like a smoky, sexy look. We have Honey. These ones are a little bit hard to open. I gotta open them from this way. Okay, Honey. We have the Soul palette. Lovebird. This one is beautiful. The shimmers and the glitters here. We have Meant to Be. We have Baby Got Peach. So pretty. I love orange as well. Birds of Paradise. Aura and Out. Okay, Ooh La La. This one slides around a little bit, so I always have to shift these back into place. Okay, we have this Colourpop Animal Crossing collaboration here. I have the Colourpop Make Up Your Mind, the Colourpop Lit palette, the Semi Precious palette, and then we have these little ones here that we're going to open and go through. This is the High Society palettes. I love this green here in the center. This is Cashmere Forever, Too Hot, Statement Piece, Cherished. This is the Make It Fearless palette from the Make It Black collaboration they did. Amore. Okay, and then this is Lyric. Still going with Colourpop. This is from the Zodiac collection, so this is Never Taurus Apart. The Secret Life of Scorpio. The Bold and the Aries. Sagittarius in Flight, Tender Loving Cancer. Look at this one, so pretty. Big Leo Energy, and of course Pisces in the Sky, because I'm a Pisces, but this is also a beautiful palette. Then we have this So Very Lovely palette and the Malibu Barbie collection palette. I did a look with this palette that's up on my channel as well. And then the Your Golden palette, so pretty. This color here caught my attention when I had seen them post it, and like this color, but this is a very nice palette. All right, so we're gonna get into some of the palettes that I kind of put together on my own from the Colourpop Singles. And honestly, some of these might be mixed because I know that for a while I was getting the Makeup Geek. I don't think any of these are Coastal Scents, but some of them are Colourpop. So I have this one that I created. I believe some are even from Colored Rain. So I have these. So not all of these are Colourpop. There's a mixture of different brands in here, but it's been so long that I do not remember. This one is all of Colourpop. So these this is a highlighter and a blush, and then the individual eyeshadows that I chose for this one. I tried to do a theme, so if I wanted to travel somewhere with it, I already had like this ready. And then I have this one. Okay, these are Colourpop as well. You see, this one I was using a lot. This is a Back in the Day palette. And then lastly, for Colourpop, I have this palette that I created. And this is a highlighter and a blush. And then the rest of these are eyeshadows. All right, as you can see, these next palettes are BH Cosmetics. BH Cosmetics is one of my favorite affordable brands. They're very pigmented and, of course, affordable. So we're going to jump into these. Let me get these out of the way. Okay, so we have the BH Studio Pro palette. And when I ordered this one came broken and shattered, so I just took it out. But this is this palette. Okay, we have the Bff palette. This is really pretty. I especially like this color here in the middle. We have the Carly Bible palette, and this one you'll know is like a old palette, but this was one of my favorite palettes when it came out, and I was using it a lot because it was everything you need in it. When I first started doing makeup, I was doing neutrals and I was too scared to do colors, and now I just can't stop with the color. We have the Zodiac palette, which I believe I might have found at like TJ Maxx. So the shimmers on these are really nice. This is the BH Cosmetics Gilded palette. This is one of my least favorite palettes. I'd put this at like the bottom of my list, but there are colors in here that I do like. I just don't like every color in here. These ones I probably would not use, but over here in this section I would. So I keep this one around. I also have this Smoke palette. This is a very beautiful palette. I definitely like the blues and like these orangey browns here. Very pretty. Of course, I have both of the It's My Ray Ray palettes. So this one came with like the contour and the highlighter, and then of course the eyeshadow. So this is a really good palette. Love this palette. I don't think I'll ever get rid of this. And then we have the other It's My Ray Ray palette. Beautiful colors as well. I like the other one more, but I still love this one. Okay, and of course you just seen this palette in a recent look, so the Low Key Love You palette. I use these two colors, and the Moroccan Sunset palette. The only thing I didn't like about this palette is that they're so small. They're smaller than what I expected, and I didn't like that. We have this Muffin palette, so the Blueberry Muffin palette, very pretty. I do have a look using this palette as well. This is the Weeknd Festival palette, one of my favorite palettes. I love this palette because of the shimmers and the colors in here. You can create all kinds of, I don't even know how to say this, the Leviathan Prince, I don't know, but this is what this palette looks like. Very pretty. My favorite parts of the BH Cosmetics palettes are these Ice Cream Sweet Shop palettes. They're not called ice cream, they're called Sweet Shop palettes, but it's like it forms into a sundae. And so I have them in the order of the sundae. See? So we'll get into these. So first we have Cherry on Top. Very pretty. I need to use these again and just do a week of BH Cosmetics or something. We have the Orange Sorbet. So pretty. I love this orange right here, just popping out like that. We have Cotton Candy. So pretty. So I was able to get all these palettes except for Cotton Candy, and I can't remember what I think the Sugar Cone one, and then I had to wait for them to come back in stock to have the whole collection. But this is the Bubblegum palette. So pretty. I love these monochromatic palettes. This is beautiful. These are like definitely in my top favorites. This is Pistachio. So beautiful. Okay, and then Sugar Cone. So this was the second palette I told you I had to wait until it came back in stock to be able to complete the collection. And I'm not a fan of neutrals, but I had to have this palette to complete this collection. And I do like the shimmers here. And of course the browns, you can always use these. Love. All right, you guys, we're getting into the Revolution Beauty or the Makeup Revolution palettes. I have dedicated true drawers for these palettes because I do have a lot of this brand. They are another affordable brand, but they are out of the UK. I do find them at Ulta, but I have ordered on their website as well. So this is the Color Book palette. So there's several colors for these. I only got this palette with the reds and the orange. And then we have this Makeup Revolution palette. This one is so pretty with like these pinks, orange, and then like the blues there. This is the Forever Flawless Hydra Dolphin. This is the Affinity palette. This is the Namaste with Canada's Sativa palette. This is the Ice palette. I know I've used this before, or at least a color out of here. I have the two from Friends. We Were on a Break. And then I'll Be There for You. We have the Revolution Pro Truth or Dare palette. So pretty. Revolution Pro Romance palette. I have a look on this when I first started last year. This is the Blushed palette. And this is the All That Glistens palette. Okay, and then I have these here. So this is the Reloaded Icon Neutrals palette. I've dropped this palette a few times. I've had to press this back in. This is the Neutrals 3 palette. I actually found this at TJ Maxx for about $3. This is the Foil Frenzy palette. This is the Foiled Frenzy Fusion palette. Again, I keep them in order. So this is the Soph X Revolution palettes, and then also the Roxy palettes. So this one I've dropped and broken. This comes off. So this is the Soph X palette. I think this was the first one, the first collaboration. Here is another Soph X palette. This one is very, very beautiful as well. I love the color story palette. Very pretty. And then the other Roxy collaboration. All right, we're gonna get into these. So I have these 3. So in this is a coffee palette. So pretty, these colors. This is like a very romantic Soft Palette. It's a little pizza palette. Okay, and then we have the Tasty Chili palette. We're gonna get into my little, these are like the chocolate bar palettes. Okay, so we're gonna get into these. These are the ones that I mentioned are hit or miss because sometimes the glitters in these ones don't perform as well. But the shimmers are nice. It's the glitters. Smaller palettes for them. So we have this mini Tasty Peach palette. Look at these shimmers. The Ultimate Nudes palette. This is the Forever Dynamic Chilled palette. And of course this one. Very pretty. And I got these little donut ones. These ones are from like iHeart Revolution. So iHeart Revolution, Makeup Revolution, and Revolution Pro are there like 3 different brands, and I think it's by price point. So iHeart Revolution will be like the cheaper price points. Revolution Pro will be like more on the higher price point, but still affordable. Okay, and then we have this pretty Ultimate Eye Look palette. This Creator Revolution. The Neon Heat. This is a Tammy and Revolution collaboration. I love Makeup by Tammy, and this is a very, very beautiful palette. I believe I actually have a look, like a sunset look using this palette. This is the Earth palette that I really wanted, that I kept seeing, and then I saw it for a discount and I bought it, but then I wasn't as impressed once I had it, but I'm still keeping it around because I want to play with it some more. Okay, this is the Kombucha palette. So pretty, this color story, these oranges and reds. This is the X-Ray palette. Perfect for Valentine's Day or like a romantic look. And then we have this like really huge palette, the XX Centric palette. And this is a very nice palette. I need to do something with this palette. All right, so we have Beautybay palettes now, and I love Beautybay. You have to order these online because they are shipping from London, but they are well worth it, and they do package their stuff very nicely. So this is a Pastels palette. This is the Sample Beauty Painters palette that I just used in a look. The Book of Magic palette. Okay, my favorite, the Origin palette. Okay, we have the Evolve palette. Another favorite, the Identity palette. If you have not tried or shopped on Beautybay, I would recommend get these big palettes, and these are like very affordable. Okay, then we have their new Romantic palette. We have the Be Perfect. Now Be Perfect has their own website, but I buy mine off of Beautybay. So this is the Be Perfect palette. This is the Antidote. And then we have the Be Perfect Carnival palette, the Love Tahiti one. Beautiful. Definitely in my top. I don't even know if I could do a top 5 because I have so many that I love. We have the Beautybay Bright Matte palette. Okay, and then we have the palettes that remind me of like the Taco Bell hot sauce. So we're going to open these. So this is the first one. This is the Fiery palette. So nice. Okay, and then we have this one. This is the Fiery 2.0 palette. All right, so we are getting into the Profusion Palettes. This is another affordable brand. You can find these at like Walmart. Sometimes I get them at Walmart. Sometimes I just buy from the website directly. So this is the first palette. This is all orange. This is their blue, electric blues. So pretty. The yellow fusion. And then of course pink. I think there was another version, but I didn't want that one. Okay, and then we have their Profusion Bubbly palette. Profusion Sparkly palette. Mixed Metals Peach palette. I found these at Burlington, I believe. And the Mixed Metals Nude palette. So this is another one I believe I found at Burlington. I got them together. And then I found this Profusion Extravaganza palette. I want to say I found this one at TJ Maxx or something like that. I don't like the material of this one, but because I have a lot of Profusion, I got it. But again, this is actually one of my least favorite from the brand that I have. Okay, we have the Violets palette. The shimmers. Spectrum. Royals. And this is the neons. All right, then I have the shimmer shades. Oops. This is Emerald Gems. So pretty. Aqua Gems. These are all still Profusion. This is Amethyst Gems. Topaz. This is Ruby. Okay, with this is the Love You So Brunch palette. And then we have another Mixed Metals palette that comes with a blush and a highlight. Right. So we have the Enchanted palette, Festival palette, Love Struck, Starlit, Sun Kissed. This one fell out. It broke when it shipped. And it shipped from, I believe, Walmart. This is the Mirage, or it might have been the brand directly. I don't remember. This is one of my favorites of the collection. This palette. Okay, we are now getting into Juvia's Place. So this is the Saharan 2. We have this Nubian Glow. Nubian Royal. Very pretty. Nubian 3 Coral. I actually bought this one on accident. I thought it was something else. I was just throwing stuff in my cart. This is the Mauves palette. The Blushed Rose palette. I love this one. The Rebel Honey palette. The Rebel Grays. The Rebel Army. I love this one. The Rebel Mints. Now some palettes I may not have used, but I've swatched every single palette. Okay, and then we have the Berries. So I still have a lot of palettes that I need to use. I have a lot in my collection because I shop at TJ Maxx and everywhere else whenever I see palettes come out, and it's one of my weaknesses, eyeshadow palettes. Okay, and this is a Sweet Pinks palette. I did do a look using this one that's up on my channel. Okay, we have the Zulu palette. Very bright and pretty. And then the Wahala palette. This one is beautiful. All right, I have a palette of just random palettes from different brands that I just kind of categorized. They might have been from BoxyCharm or just indie brands that I found. So this is the Saffron Palette by Suva Beauty or Suva Beauty. I believe I got that from a Tribe Beauty box. This is the Face Candy Atlantis palette. This is Poppy Cosmetics Neon Drip. So this might have been from a Tribe Beauty box as well. So it's either Tribe Beauty box, BoxyCharm, or just something like that. And we got the Afterglow Bad Habit palette. I don't know where I found this palette, but I've had it for a while. We have this Crown palette. Very pretty neutral palette. This Nicole Miller palette, this one came from, I believe, Ross or Burlington or something like that. I found another Ellen Tracy palette. This one's nice. I'll put this one with the other palette. This is another palette I think I got from like Ross or it might have been TJ Maxx. This is a Beauty Concept Sunset palette. Cab Cosmetics. This is Protege. This one's definitely BoxyCharm. It's the Blink BoxyCharm. So pretty, these shimmers. Shades of Roses. I'm pretty sure this was from Tribe Beauty box. This is the BoxyCharm Winky Lux. Very nice. I like this color here in the middle. The Bad Habit Athena palette. This is the Beauty Concepts Nudes palette. This is the XOXO. These are shimmers. The Sweetheart palette from Lorella. Alright, so I have another drawer full of random palettes that I may not have a lot of, but these are more recognizable name brands. So this is the JCat palette, the Santa Monica. I do want to find, there's another one that I wanted, but I haven't been able to find it. I did find this at TJ Maxx though. Okay, we have the Ace Beauty Vintage Dawn palette. We have the Nabla Dreamy palette. The Nabla Secret palette. This is the Ace Beauty Nostalgia palette. The Zoeva Precious palette. Hip Dot Stapatio palette. So pretty. Uoma Beauty Coming to America palette. So beautiful. Uoma Beauty Black Magic Carnival palette. The Alamar Cosmetics palette. And we have Kaleidos. I bought myself these for my birthday. So this is the first Kaleidos palette I have. Okay. This is the other Kaleidos. There was another palette I wanted, but it was sold out. So I'm going to keep watching that website so I can get that palette. This is my last Kaleidos palette that I have. Okay. I have this Beauty Bakery Sugar Cookies palette. This Storybook Cosmetics palette. I really like the color story here. The Pixie palettes. So I have two of these. Alright, next drawer we have this One City Color Cosmetics palette. And I just looked because I also have C Color Cosmetics. They're distributed by two different companies, so they're not the same. I have this Dusk to Dawn palette from C Color Cosmetics. And these ones are supposed to be dupes. We have this Diamond C Color Cosmetics palette. This is Jungle Fever. This is the Unisex 1 palette. The Unisex 2 palette. And the Unisex 3 palette. This is the Galaxy palette from C Color Cosmetics. Their Purple Rain palette. Very affordable. You can either find them at TJ Maxx or they'll be, they have their own website, but they're very, very affordable. I think the most expensive palette that I saw on there was about $12. So we have the City of Dreamy Nights. So pretty. I really love Rude Cosmetics. So Rude Cosmetics, I order from the website directly, but I just started seeing them in TJ Maxx. This is my Glitters palette. I used that last New Year's. This is the Screwdriver and the Cosmo. The Roaring 20s palette. This is their Neons. Yeah, the Roaring 20s Reckless palette. Roaring 20s Carefree. The Rude Cosmetics Blackjack 21 palette. Here is another Blackjack palette. This is called Bad Girl. We have the Desperate Dreamer palette. This is their Myrrh Fantasia palette. The Return of the Jet Eye palette. This reminds me of a Morphe palette. Next, we're getting into my Glam Light palettes. I have 2 drawers dedicated to them because of their packaging is very bulky, and I save their packaging. So this is the Miracle palette. This is actually one of their smaller palettes. This is their Taco palette, their Pie palette. This is the Burger palette. This is their Pizza palette. The Chocolate Donut palette, which I just recently used in a video. This is the Glam Donut palette. Then I have this Painter type palette. I think I spilled something on my palettes, but I don't know how. Okay, and we have this Painter's palette. Okay, we have the Michaela collaboration. And you see, I still have my cake palette in its packaging. So this is the cake palette. Okay. Gonna do a haul of the next palettes I'm about to show you. So this Dirty Martini palette, I did get the full collection. I just never did the video. I actually haven't even taken these out of the packaging until today. So this is the Dirty Martini palette. Okay, we have the Margarita palette. Here's the Wine palette and the Chocolate Martini palette. I have another drawer of random palettes, but these are more going to be like the higher end brands, and yeah. So here's my other Ace Beauty palette that I was looking for before. This one's very pretty. Okay, we have this BoxyCharm Pure Cosmetics collaboration here. This obviously came in a BoxyCharm. The Cake Face palette by Time the Infamous here on YouTube. Love this palette. This is an Ofra palette that I got from my BoxyCharm as well. So all my high-end palettes I usually either get from a BoxyCharm or I got them from TJ Maxx on obviously a low price. Here's the Violet Voss Pro palette. This is the Dominique Cosmetics Celestial Thunder palette. Love this. Here's the Dominique Cosmetics. This is Dominique Cosmetics Rustic palette. Love this one too. This is the KVD palette. I got this for my birthday from Sephora. This is a Butter London palette. I don't know where I got this palette from. I've had it for a while, but it's very pretty. Okay, here's a Desert Lights palette. Pure Cosmetics and Barbie collaboration. I got this from TJ Maxx. This is the Pure Cosmetics Defense palette. This was also picked up at TJ Maxx. I have the Dose of Colors Blushing Berries palette. This was in a BoxyCharm. I have this Naked Cosmetics palette. The Lorac Unzipped. Yeah, unzipped, unfiltered. Violet Voss Essentials palette. I'm pretty sure it came in like a BoxyCharm at some point. This is a KKW beauty palette. I've had this one for a very long time. So this is Laura Lee Party Animal palette. This is Violet Voss, All of You Forever. Okay, this is the Pure Cosmetics Festival palette. This is the Pure Soiree Diaries. Okay, this is the Makeup by Mario palette. This is a Pure Cosmetics Midnight Masquerade. Okay. Comes with blush. The LA Dreams palette. Here is another Makeup Obsession palette. All right, now we are doing my Morphe palette. So we have this Jaclyn Hill Dark Magic palette. This is the Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss palette. Don't mind the dogs walking around. So this is a Morphe Ring the Alarm palette. We have the Coca-Cola collaboration. I have a look with that on my channel. This one's broken, so the lid comes off, but this is the 25A palette. 24A Artist Pass palette. You have the Morphe Jeffree Star Jaclyn Hill palette. The Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. I have the 35XO palette. I have the 35G Bronze Gold palette. We have the 35S Sweet Oasis palette. This is the 25D palette. The 35M palette. Morphe and Profusion are about the same to me. So this is a 35O palette. Here is the 3502 palette. This is the 3503 palette. Okay, and then this is the 39S palette. Okay, we're coming to the second to the last drawer here, and this is the Kara Beauty drawer. This is my Orange Pop. We have Purple Haze. Here is Flower After Hours. Life of the Fiesta. Before the Party. All right. We have La Chica Enamorada. La Reina Azteca. La Dama de Flores. All right, Girls Just Want to Have Sun. Summer Stunna. And then this is Beach Days. Kara Beauty is like a very great brand. I feel like they're a little bit overpriced when you buy them from their website. I wait till they get to TJ Maxx. So this is the Desire 15 palette. Okay. Beyond the Sky. Never Ending Paradise. Okay, and then I have the magazine collection here. This is Make a Statement. Poetry of Love. Sweet Temptation. All right, and then I have this collection of palettes from Kara Beauty. It says Kara Duo, but it's by Kara Beauty. So first we have the Traveler palette. This palette's called Like Totally. This is their Goddess Nem palette. This is Mind Trap. This is Gentle Teaser. You Had Me at Aloha. The Essentials palette. And this is Havana Club. Okay, we finally made it to my last drawer. This is the Neon palette by Huda Beauty. I don't really like that palette. I'm still keeping it because I paid full price for that, I think. This is the Venus 3 palette. We have the Venus XL palette. This one, I'm pretty sure I got it like TJ Maxx, so I did not pay full price for this. The Mercury Retrograde from Huda Beauty. I got this one on sale, but I did get it for my birthday, but it was still pricey. We have the Too Faced palette. This Too Faced Life's a Festival palette. I bought this for my birthday like a few years back, and I paid full price for this. But I love that one. The Too Faced Natural Lust palette. I did not pay full price for this one. I actually got it at TJ Maxx, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe even, no, I think it was TJ Maxx. Okay, we have this Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette. I think this came in a boxy charm. We have this Too Faced Shake Your Palms palette. This is Too Faced That's My Jam. This is one I really wanted. This is Too Faced Sugar Plum Fun. We have this old Urban Decay Born to Run palette. Love this palette, so I keep this one. It's one of my favorites. We have the Anastasia Riviera palette. The Anastasia Subculture palette. I actually really like this one. I think that a lot of people didn't like this one, but I love it. We have the Soft Glam palette. And we have the Modern Renaissance palette. And down to the last two palettes, we have this Too Faced Salted Caramel. Stila. The Stila palette that I found at TJ Maxx. I thought it was really beautiful. You